Item: SCP-1036. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Each specimen of SCP-1036 is to be contained in a locked cast iron receptacle in a low humidity environment, to retard oxidation of the receptacle and of the nails. At all times, each specimen is to be carefully handled so as to minimize the likelihood of dislodging any nails from the specimen. Under no circumstances are nails to be removed from any specimen. If inspection of any specimen indicates a risk that a nail may become separated from a specimen, consult Document 1036-3 PBR for restoration protocols. At regular intervals, the timing of which is computed by Site-6's on-staff Mganga, shaman, based on astronomical observations. The Mganga is to affix to each specimen at least one additional iron nail having a mass in excess of 8 grams. If for any reason it becomes necessary for personnel other than the Mganga to enter the presence of a specimen, it is recommended that the Mganga first cover the eyes or other reflective components of the specimen with electrical tape or some other opaque coating. Description: SCP-1036 designates any of a collection of wooden figurines of a type consistent with fetish objects produced by the Congo culture of Western Central Africa. The Foundation presently contains 4 specimens of SCP-1036, designated SCP-1036-1, SCP-1036-5, SCP-1036-6 and SCP-1036-7. Each figurine depicts a human form, or, in some cases, an animal form, typically depicted in a threatening posture. Each specimen is composed of African tropical hardwood and decorated with materials such as camwood powder, resins, and vegetable fiber such as raffia palm fronds. Each specimen includes a component, typically the eyes or abdomen, made of shiny or reflective metal such as polished silver, affixed to the specimen with tree gum. The specimens contain trace amounts of soil matched to certain funerary sites in the region. A number of iron nails have been hammered into the wood of each specimen. Each specimen is slightly warm to the touch. Analysis indicates that the specimens normally have a surface temperature that exceeds the ambient temperature in the containment chamber by 4 to 8 degrees centigrade. However, observation log 1036-986 b. 233 indicated that immediately prior to event Kalazima 1, the surface temperature of SCP-1036-3 spiked by at least 90 degrees centigrade within less than 4 seconds before observation was interrupted. Each specimen is associated with a sentient incorporeal entity that had become bound to its respective specimen prior to the Foundation's acquisition of the specimen in question, by means of a traditional Congo shamanistic ritual practice. Each of the specimens in the Foundation's custody were constructed, inclusive of the performance of the binding protocol, no more recently than the mid-1870s, one so long as the integrity of its respective SCP-1036 specimen is maintained. The entity is incapable of free agency apart from communicating with Mganga or interacting with a living creature that makes eye contact with the specimen. Specimens of SCP-1036 were constructed by indigenous Mganga in order to apply the powers of the bound entity for various useful purposes, but knowledge of the protocol for doing so has been lost. Accordingly, the Foundation's efforts regarding SCP-1036 have focused on containment.